Hello, this is Judy Gunn, and in this video I want to share with you how to find your tools in TradingView. So I've just signed into tradingview.com, and we're in here where it says chart. I'm clicking on chart. And it's taking me to, I've just got GBP AUD. It doesn't really matter which pair I've got. This one's just to show you. And on the top corner here, there's three little lines. If you click on those, that will give you, you can rename your spreadsheet if you want to. It's auto save, so it saves every minute. That's your name, so it's a profile. You can change your profile settings, and if you want to pay for, it's a free service, but you can pay to get extra things on there. It isn't necessary when you first start, but that's your choice. And the theme here, I use a dark theme because I'm on the computer a lot, and if I have a light theme, it's a bit of a strain on my eyes. So I'm going to turn this to light, so you can see this is the light screen, so it is quite blurry for me. So I turn it to the dark screen, so that's a little bit better. And the drawings panel, you can take that off or you can put it back on. So this is the drawings panel here. It goes away from the side. We can put it back on. I like to leave it on so I can find things. And now that I've done this, you can see now that I've got lines. So I'm going to right click, go down here to settings, and on here I've got the top. That's the symbol. These are my candles. I've got green and orange candles. You can have whatever color you like. So click on the color. You can have red or pink or blue, whatever color you like. I like the orange and the green. And the borders, you can have whatever color you like for the borders. Any of these, you can play around with them and see what, there's your time zone down there. You can put it on that time zone. So that's the one that they suggest. The status line, these are symbols, descriptions, any of these things that you want on. Scales, appearance. Now in the appearance here, because I clicked from light and came back to dark, I've got these lines. These are the grids, and I don't really want to have those grids. The background is dark. I want the grids to be the same color as my background so you don't see them. Is it that one? No, it's that one. And then I go to my horizontal grid lines. I don't want to see those either. So I put them in that color so you don't see them. If you want the session breaks, you can click that on and say which session break you want, and you can have the colors on there, whatever colors you want. So you can spend quite a bit of time. I don't use the session breaks, but you can spend quite a bit of time with crosshair. Crosshair can have whatever color. Mine is sort of a lightish color, and you can have it a single line or a dotted line. I use the dotted line. And if this here, the 100%, you can bring this over to, say, here, makes it a bit lighter. Or you can bring it down here. You can hardly see it there. Or you can bring it right over here, so it's quite, you can see it just depends on where you like it. Put it wherever you like, and you can have it thicker if you want it thicker. I like it thin like this, but whatever you like it, whatever's good for your eyes. So that's the crosshair. I don't use a watermark. And the top margin, there's the top margin, there's 10, 8 and 10. I didn't change these. These were the way they were, so I didn't fiddle around with those. The trading, these are the only ones. Positions, orders, executions, show price levels. So I haven't got any of these. If you want any of these on, just show buy and sell panel, you click that, It'll come up the top here, sell and buy, but I don't use that, so I don't have that on. And events, you can have events on there. I don't use that either. And template, you can apply default. If you click on default, the whole thing will go back to defaults and you'll have to start again. This is where you save a template. So if you put a template and some settings on your chart and you want to save them, you can click on here and say save as, and then you can type the name of your strategy and then click save, and it will save it for you. See up the top here, we've got A, B, C, F, and that first one is ADX, and if I click on that, it will put those on. ADX and the DI here. I just take it off. If I put B on, that's MACD. So you can put your any that you want on. And if you have it on here, see on the bottom here, the X will delete it. That's to show your source code. That's your settings. So in the settings here, for any one of these you put on, you can put whatever colours you like in here. See, I've got these colours here. You can change any of these colours here and you can have them whatever colours you like. I've always gone with whoever the person that I was following, whatever they did, I sort of followed theirs for those. And when you don't want to use it, there's a little eye here where you can just hide it. Or you can take it off the top here. That's the bounce back strategy. You can just untick it. See any ones of these? They just go on, whichever ones that you want here. I'm just going to hide those. So I'm back to just a normal chart. Now, what else have we got? Oh, over here, we've got all your icons down here. And the top one, between each one is a little arrow. You can see goes out to the sides, which means that there's more in there. There's not just that one. That's your crosshair, which is a crosshair that I'm using here. Now, if I want to use something else and I want to use a dot or an arrow, if I want to use an arrow, see the arrow comes? If I want to point with an arrow, or I might want to use an eraser or a dot. See, there's just a dot. I use the crosshair because it lines up with things. I find it easier. You know, if I'm looking at something here, it's easier to look across. Or if I'm here and I go, you know, look left, it's easy to look along the crosshair line to look left. Let me go down to the next one. And this one we have trend line. Now I've put stars next to the things that I use. I don't use everything here, so I just put stars next to the ones I do use. And when I put a star there, it becomes a favorite and it goes down here. See on the bottom here, 6 little white dots. I can move that up anywhere. So I leave it down here. And the things that I use often, I've got them in my favorites here, so I can just go straight here and find them. So in this one here, so take some time and I use the trend line, the horizontal line, the horizontal ray, the vertical line, an arrow, an array, and any of these others if you're using them. And if you're going to use them, you can put a star next to it and it'll go down the bottom. The next one's got heaps in here. Pitchfork, all these things in here I don't use, but I use the fib retracement and I use the trend-based fib extension. They're about the only ones I use in there. The next one, I use the rectangle and the eclipse. No, I don't use the others. So you don't have to have them all there because it can get a bit confusing. I use text. You can use any one of these arrows or, you know, arrow left, a price level, balloons, any one of these you can use. And these ones here are, so I use these. These are the from the scanner, and the different patterns. The cipher pattern, it's an ABCD pattern. Head and shoulders, that's the Elliott wave, Elliott correction wave. So any of these others that you would be using, depending on what sort of strategy you're using, you can put a star on them, and then they'll come down the bottom here, so you've got them there when you want them. This is the long and the short position, so that's when you want to work out 1% of your account. So you hang on, the short position is the, so if we were taking one here, it puts that on there, so that shows you there's 1%. So this here would be, this would be a stop loss, and this would be a take profit. That shows you how to do those. And when you put this on, see down the bottom here, this will come up. I'll put that on top there. This will come up because this goes with all of this. These are your colours. This is your settings. It's your order. You can copy it. You can lock it. You can hide it. And that's to remove it. So I'm going to remove it. So that's your long and short position. Some people use date range. I don't use that. But any of these others you can use. Now these are all your little icons. You can put icons anywhere on your screen if you want to. This one here is your measuring tool. So if you say, oh, okay, well, how many pips is it from, say, there to, oh, look at this, all the way down here. So that's 459 pips. That's good. You just click on it. So you click on it once, drag it down, and then click on it again, it'll go away. That's a really good measure. So you just click on it, click on the chart, and you don't drag it. You just, once you click, you let go your mouse, and it'll come down by itself to where you want it. And you can click it again, and it'll stay there. And then you can click it again, it'll go off. This one here is a plus. This is to zoom in. So if you're looking at something and you want to see up closer, you can go like this and make a little square, and then it'll make that square bigger. Down the bottom here, I'm going to reset the chart with a little circle here and the arrow. So I'll click on that and it takes it back. These ones here, that makes zooming out. This one zooms in. This one scrolls to the left. I'll scroll the chart to the left. This one scrolls to the right. This one always brings you back to the current market price. So it's a plus, and that's to make it smaller. This snaps drawings placed near price bars to the closest. I don't use that one. No, I don't use that one. This is to stay in your drawing mode. That's always on for me. This is to lock, so you can lock all your drawing tools. So if you've got a lot of tools on here and then you're scrolling your chart like this, if you accidentally grab a line or anything, you could move it. So you can lock the tools. You click on that and then you can move it, and anything you've added on there will stay there. If you do that and grab a line and accidentally move it, you can come up the top here and it's got an arrow. That's an undo scroll. You can click on that and it'll go back to where it was. What else have we got here? That's hide all your drawing tools. And that is to remove the drawing tools. So you can right click and say remove all drawing tools if you've got any on there, and that takes them all off. Now what else have we got up here? Oh, if you put in here, if you type in here, oops, Great British Pound and Australian dollar. Oops, can't type. when you typed it in here, it will give you a selection of which broker. You don't always get the broker that you have. Like I use Traders Way and Hugo's Way. They're not listed in here, of course, but I use Oanda and I use forex.com. Sometimes they're a little bit different, but you can use whichever one you want. So I would click on that and it would go in there too. Oanda, and it shows up the top here. When you type it in here, it doesn't actually save it in your chart. So I like to save it over here where it says add symbol. So in here I add the symbol. Great British Pound, AUD. And it'll come up here again. Hang on, I'll just shift my out the way here. Up there. So, and you can pick which one you want, Oanda, in here. And it adds it to my, I've got Judy's pair, so it adds it, it'll go down the bottom. And it'll add it on there. Now you can also, if you click on here, this is your list. So you can create a new list. You can save the list. You can rename it. You can import a watch list. So these are all things you can do, and you can give them colours. So I've got Judy's pairs, which are the ones that I work with. You can have my best pairs or strategies or watch list, and you can give them colours. So I've got, you know, different colours on mine. You can do all that. Or you don't have to do any of it, but it's just, you know, little things to make it easier to find things. When you're working on your chart here, if you click on this one here, it takes that away so you get the whole chart to work on. Doesn't, you know, get in the way. You just want to bring it back when you want to find things. This one here is your alert. You click on that and you can say click here for a new alert. You click on there and then you can say that's your pair. You want it to cross a certain value. You put your value in. You might say I just want it only once, and you can have an expiration date on it, notify on the app or show a pop-up or send an email. I think to send an email you have to have a paid subscription. You could check that and then you just click create for your alerts. That's your data window, hot lists, calendar, my ideas. You can have chats, private chats, ideas. There's all sorts of things you can have in here. Yeah, manage alerts. Click that back again and that gives those back there. What else have we got? Up here you've got your time, 5 minutes, 15, 30, 1 hour, 2 hours, 4, daily, weekly, monthly. There's all your different, see, week, all your ranges down here. And this one here is your bars, candles, hollow, Heiken Ashi, I don't know if I say that right, or your line chart or Renko, any of these other ones here. You can put those up there if you want. This is on the candles, of course. And this is your favourites. They're your levels, different ones that you're going to use. You can add them to your favourite. There's your indicator templates. So I've got a few here that I've saved. So if I say, okay, I want to put a bounce back strategy on there, I can click on that and it will put the bounce back strategy on there. Yeah. And then I can just right click and say remove all indicators. Takes them off again. What else? So they're all just strategies that I've got there. And that's, you create your alert. You can take it from there as well as on the side. That's your undo. And I think that's about all for the minute. I'll finish this one and I'll maybe do another one. Or if anybody has any problems with anything, you can just reach out to me and give me a call. But I'll stop sharing that, and I hope that is a help to you when you've first started. But there's a lot of things in TradingView. It's really great. But just to get you started, you need the basic ones. I hope that helps. So I'll see you in the next video.